starting soon. I'm going to go to my manage broadcasts. Let me make sure I have it up.
This live stream is for entertainment and information purposes only. Do not copy our trades, as we are just trading to have fun. Many of our trades could already be closed before you even see us opening the trade on YouTube due to the delay of the stream, and we trade offline as well, so you do not get to see the complete picture. We make no claims of profitability. We are not licensed professionals, and we are not providing any investment or trading advice. Greater than 90% of all traders lose money, and we are not responsible or liable for any of your trading decisions or losses. Please trade on demo only and consult a licensed professional. Please read and understand CFTC Rule 4.41. Let's get to the charts and trade safe today. Live from New York.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
It's Monday
Welcome
night.
to our co-stream, hosted by the Joker Trades and Futures Floor TV. Good to have everyone here.
Yeah, good evening, guys. I hope you all had a good day. My day wasn't so bad, but wasn't so good. It was a mixed bag of everything. I hope you guys had a good day. And
hey, what's up, Crispy?
No, boy, I think it was a mixed bag, and I'm trying to trade more aggressively. I think I got to pick up the tempo, so I just got to get used to those numbers. It was a mixed bag. Nothing that I'm unhappy about. So let's put it that way. I did good in my top step. I did good in my Bulenox. I'm trading it. I'm even trading the opening drive, the algo. But working out a few bugs. It's not easy for me to trade aggressive. I don't know how, well, no, I said, maybe that's a little too personal. No, I won't ask that question. I'm just trying to figure out how to get to payouts within 15 to 20 days, let's say.
So I think you're already focusing on
the money.
Yep.
The
You're
wrong
already your head's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
My opinion, just an opinion. But I would say put a little bit less focus on the money and more focus on consistency. All right. Don't put so much focus on how much you're gonna make. Focus more on, am I following my rules? Did I get there properly? Right. So, and that's just gonna come. I think it's gonna come naturally. I was trading like dog shit last week. All right. And I've requested 4 payouts since then. So I've requested a daily payout every day, including today.
Yeah.
Up until ever since last Friday. Friday, I think I requested 2, and then I got Monday and Tuesday in the books with 2 more payouts. So that's 4 payouts so far. Now, I had a goal, right? I had a goal for 5,000 for the month. We haven't hit it. We did get denied on one of them, so it's only 3 that we got. The Apex payout got denied.
Yeah.
No big deal, right? It was just because of a consistency rule. I was only off by 8% or so.
You know how that works, right?
What do you mean?
As far as I understand it.
You mean the consistency rule?
No, what you need to do to get a payout on your next request.
Yeah. So I got denied specifically because I was at 38% instead of 30 on the consistency. So my biggest trading day was bigger than 30%. I confused it with Bulenox because I'm trading all these damn firms.
Okay.
So I thought it was 40% also. I forgot that it was 30 with Apex. Otherwise, I just wouldn't have requested. I would have taken one more trade. I needed like $200 to hit the consistency.
Okay, no, but let me give you a numerical example. I'm just going to make up the numbers, but you'll catch the idea. Let's say your account is at 53,000. It doesn't matter. Just go with the numbers. Let's say your account is at
3,000 over.
53,000, right?
Yeah.
And you requested a payout, but because you're 38%, you got denied. You now have to trade. This is how I understand it. You now have to trade for 10 days.
8 days.
8 days.
Apex.
Okay, whatever it is. And then when you request
7 or 8.
Yeah. When you request a payout, don't dip into the 3,000. That's the way I understand it. Don't dip into that initial 3,000 for your first request. So try to get to, let's say, 54,000 and ask for 900.
1,000 or 1,000.
Yeah, but don't touch that 3,000 that they denied you on. And then once they agree on that one, then it releases everything. That's the way I understand it. I'm not saying I'm
no. So it's not. So all you have to do is just meet the consistency rule, right? So right now, when I got denied, I was 8% off.
Okay.
I needed to be, so I was at almost 2,880 or 2,900. I forgot what it was. I needed to be at like 3,100 because of that one singular trade. So now I still just need to get to that level. So if I get to, for example, let's say I get 8 trading days, 3 of them have to be 50 or over with Apex, and the rest can be flip days. So if I make $300 in the next 8 days, I can still request my full 1,000.
Yeah,
and get to 2,100.
I'm curious. Check in with me on that because I understood it differently. I heard that you had your next payout. Again, this is probably from a YouTuber. I heard it, and who knows if he was accurate. I don't even remember who it was, and even if I did, it's irrelevant. But he stated that when you request your next payout, you shouldn't touch what they denied you on, and then after that, you can dip into it. But again, like I said, I'm just telling you what I heard. I'm not saying it's accurate.
I haven't gotten enough payouts, futures. I haven't gotten enough payouts to really,
Yeah, so we'll see.
Understand how.
Yeah, so we'll see. That's perfect. This is a good case study. So I'm gonna try to keep up to date on this and see how it works out.
And I'll keep you posted as well. But for the most part, on my end, I didn't take too many trades. I ended the day, I think, like like $390 green across 4 accounts.
Okay.
So I only took 1 trade with my Bulenox accounts copied, and it wasn't anything special. I think I made like $47, and that was last night. I don't even think that was on stream. if I remember correctly. And
Oh, last night I had.
yeah,
a good night.
I didn't take anything. I didn't take anything on stream actually.
Yeah.
And then I ended up taking one more trade. Well, I took that one trade, got to $47, and then I took one more trade with those accounts, copying them, but for some reason I didn't copy them. It only took one account. So I ended up closing the position pretty quick. I booked like $30 because I wanted to correct the issue. I didn't know what was going on. And plus, I didn't know what was going on with the other accounts. Were they in? Were they not popping up? So I wanted to go check the rhythmic. You know, the same nonsense I've been dealing with the rhythmic. So I shut it down. I shut down that trade, and I ended up booking like $30 on that one account. So it went from like 47 to like 88. And then I took a singular trade with my Take Profit Pro account, which I was kind of waiting for. And I booked like $217, which I can request in theory. I'm waiting for the option to request it. And I'm thinking, why not? Right? Like, why the heck not? Every time I get a chance to get a payout, I'm going to request it. Whatever it is. $200,
take it.
$500, I'm taking it. Exactly. So that's the plan, right? So I'll request that payout today. I got the other two requests in. One approved, hit the bank already. So that's kind of nice. And yeah, that's about it. So trading really, it really didn't I didn't do much. I was really analyzing big time today, and then this gap just completely shit on my analysis. It's
well,
what the heck again, right? Like yesterday's gap, 300 points, right? The weekly gap, Monday, right? Monday's gap. And then we've got this daily gap today that opens up 130 points, 120 something points. That's pretty. And then the immediate drop that you mentioned, the futures, right?
Yeah.
Soon as we open, we have like a, what was it? Was it like a singular second candle? Was it really that quick? Wow, it was. You're not playing. You were not kidding.
Well, if you're going to talk about getting shit on today at, I don't know if you saw it, if you had your face in the screens at 10:46.
10:46. Let's go to 10:46.
We opened at 19:066, and we dumped 100 points. And I think most of that was instant. And I think it was 3 seconds after I took a long position. And that was that was the highlight of my day. But
did you end up getting out of the position? Did you get
instantly.
Instant stop. What did you lose on that? Just your stop, whatever it was.
No. Well, I don't put in manual stops, so maybe on a.
You don't have hard stops.
Yeah, no. So no, I took a little bit of a beating on that. But you know what? This is why I said I'm not too upset about it, because it was on the 250K accounts, and the more I'm thinking about them, the more I'm thinking that I'm losing my time on those, because the profit target to the drawdown is almost 3-to-1.
Sucks. Like that was like my 300K that
I that's even
20K. 20K.
Yeah, 20K on
7,500.
That's more. Oh, is it? I thought it was 7. Okay, so it's still also close to 3-to-1.
It is. They're both shit. I think you have it better than I do. I think the 250 is 6,500, and you got to reach 15,000.
Wow, 2,000 point jump. Holy shit.
When?
I'm reading Crispy's message here about the scallywags. He said
That's okay. I blew 12 funded account. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, like I said, I'm not going to be messing with the 250Ks anymore. I think 150 is more than enough, and that's
the sweet spot.
What is that? That's 5 to 9. Yeah, it's 1.8 to 1. Not too bad. And the 50Ks. I think those are the best.
What I like about so
that's why I'm not upset. So that's why I'm not upset, because I didn't make any mistakes. I traded with pretty damn good discipline today. I didn't make any. That wasn't my fault. That's just the markets are gonna slap you in the face. They're gonna rip your face off once in a while.
And if that's how you trade, right? If you trade with no hard stops, that's how you trade.
Yeah.
I don't trade that way, right? You'll never catch me trading that way, and that's only because I know I've seen this market drop 150 points in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen it do more than that. So and that's in the short time I'm trading, right? So I have no real desire to trade without a hard stop, but it's no better when you have a hard stop and you're moving it, right? Like what I do. So same, well, not really the same thing, because you at least close out. You have your game plan, right?
Well, I was good with that. You know what? I've gotten really good at taking my losses. I've realized that was one of the biggest mistakes I was doing, was allowing my losses to get out of hand. You know, that's...
You didn't hit your daily loss, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, you did hit your daily loss on that
Yeah.
account.
It was an instant smackdown.
So let me ask you then. So that instant smackdown was it the daily loss hit with that one trade? You never got to attempt another trade on that account?
No, I switched. I went to... Oh, hold on a minute. Who's calling me? My son. You want to give me just a half a sec?
Of course, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, mute yourself if you want. Let me.
Yeah, I will.
I'll mute your application. Or you just do it on Discord.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Around. All right, guys. So the analysis, right? Back to my analysis while Futures is taking his call. Absolutely, completely off. Now, I mean, like, mirror opposite. Damn near at the 50%. Identical.
I'm back.
This algorithm is something.
Okay,
Let me tell you.
Who's having a good time with the hearts on my stream? Crispy, is that you?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, no. So I switched accounts and I traded aggressively, maybe a little bit too aggressively, but still within my allotted risk. You know, I have a few levels that I can trade at, anywhere from 10, breaking down the drawdown from 10 units into even just 4 units. But I redid it again today. You
mean your 10 to 4, meaning how much you're willing to risk?
Yeah, because those bigger accounts, I want to trade them a little bit aggressively. No, and before we were saying that I was focusing on the money. It's not so much I'm focusing on the money. It's not like I'm saying I want to make this amount in a day.
You just want to get the payout.
I just want to accelerate the accounts a little bit, and I'm trying to find the sweet spot. The sweet spot.
But you see how you just said you want to accelerate the accounts a bit, and it's not about the money. The first thing you said was I want to get to payout, right? So there's a difference, right? Wanting to get to payout and simply figuring out a new strategy that's going to be part of your new model, that's different. That's just adjusting your risk parameters, but you can't be chasing that payout future.
Yeah, no, it's not chasing the payout. It's just wanting to trade a little bit more
aggressive,
a little bigger size.
A little bit bigger. I get that. I have that itch. I have that itch sometimes too, but it just doesn't align with my risk parameters.
Yeah.
Not with my 50K accounts.
I'm not
especially
sure.
To take profit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's an itch, because I've realized that my scalping, as long as I'm disciplined and I'm taking my losses, my scalping is killer. It really is. Except for, like I said, I got clipped on that move there, but my scalping is killer. It's really, really good.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you end up? What did it end up closing you out for with your daily loss on that?
It was, I think, 2,500.
2,500.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so. And how big is the account? The 150, 250?
No, those are the 250s.
So they have what, 6,500 drawdown?
Those are my biggest ones. Is it 250s? 7.5? Does that make sense?
that's the 300. 7.5 is mine.
7?
I don't even think so. Let's check it. Let me go to Apex. I think it's 65. I'm not 100% certain, but I'll tell you in 2 seconds. So it is.
I'm running on the assumption it's 7. That's what I thought it was.
6,500.
65.
So the 250 is 6,500, and the 300K is 7,500. Your target goal is 15,000, and you have 27 27 minis. 300K has 35 minis. When the heck am I going to put 35 minis on the table? What? What is that? What does that even mean?
Yeah. Well,
you go,
try
35 minis for 5 points, and I'm requesting a payout.
Try to do that on the micros. Multiply it by 10. Make it even more exciting.
Well, yeah, they tell you. Then you have the
350.
350. But so look, 6,500. And this is, guys, we're not financial advisors. You know, we're just kind of chatting between ourselves, and obviously, you know, we're just here for entertainment purposes. But my advice, futures, is to bring that daily loss limit to about half. 6,500, risking a third of the account, less than a third of the account, is steep in my opinion. I know it's recoverable, but when you go down 2,500 after your daily,
oh yeah, no, but that wasn't my fault. That was a decent sized position. That
then you got to make sure you have a hard stop.
That happened in that 100-point drop. My stop's supposed to be 14 points. So I that was supposed to be like a $500 loss.
Let me ask you a question.
I unfortunately was on the wrong side of someone pulling the floor out from under my legs. I have no idea what happened there.
Why don't you have a hard stop? Just out of curiosity.
Mostly because the charts that I trade off of, you know, the Renko charts.
Okay.
They take 1 second for the bar to confirm. Let me give you an example. A minute bar closes on the minute, right? At when a new minute starts, your minute bar, new minute bar forms, right? I'm using 7 Renkos. It can go 7-point Renkos. It can go 7 points. It can go even 8 points. But from the minute it touches 7 points, there's a little counter that goes off, and it counts, well, I guess in milliseconds or hundredths of a second. But if we're still beyond the threshold after a second, it'll print the bar. But if we come back, it won't print the bar. So it kind of gives you 1 second of leeway for maybe not getting stopped out, you know, which is what I like. It's one of the features I like about it. But I don't put in stops because of that. Because you always have that one. If I were to put in a stop, I would get stopped out a lot of times when the bar doesn't form.
Well, let me ask you this. What if, just a hypothetical, what if because you trade the way you trade, and you know, like that drop was how many points did it blow you out in order to get to that?
Probably 80.
80 points, right? So if you know your stop is typically 14, but your daily loss limit is about 80 with whatever the size is that you're trading.
A little less. What if my daily loss limit is usually, I'll tell you what my daily loss limit adjusts with the volatility, but right now my daily loss limit is 60 points.
60 points. Okay, so why don't you have a hard stop at 20 points, no matter what, right? Because at that point, if your account went past 20 points because of a crazy candle, you know, you gave yourself a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah.
And if your normal stop is 10 to 14 points, and that's standard, and you don't want to risk that, you don't want to be that tight, right? You don't want to be that much of a tight ass. That's fine. I get it. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah.
25 points.
Even if
right? But have a hard stop at 25 where you know you have at least 2 more chances.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%.
Just a thought, right?
Yeah.
Just a thought, just from a logical perspective. You know, just dissecting that one scenario right there.
No, I mean, even though that this happens probably, let's say, 2-3 times a year, still, if it can be avoided, why not, eh?
Exactly.
It's kind of stupid not to put in an emergency stop. Let's say, so if my stop.
And what if this was a funded account?
Well, I wouldn't be trading the size I was trading.
But you still would have no stop.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be trading.
Daily loss limit might have been 500 instead of 2,500.
No, on the funded accounts, I cut the drawdown into 15, 20 pieces. So my PDLL would be 1/15 of the daily drawdown. So in other words, on a 25K account, it's 1,500. I'll risk 100 on the day. on the
On the
day.
day, right?
I'll
Which
trade.
that makes sense.
I'll take
Yeah, that makes sense.
$30, $30, $35, $40 trades, and I'll allow myself 3 losses.
So 50K, you typically have a 200 or 300 DLL.
250. Do I
Not
have
the
it on my
250,
sheet
50,
here?
50K.
Yeah, the 50K
50. Yeah.
PDLL. I have it listed here right now, a little bit more aggressive at 360. I got a card.
360.
I got
I've
a
got
new
mine
card.
hard at 300 now.
Look, I made a card. Remember I told you make
Nice.
yourself cards? I made a card. The new
Good
one
for
is
you.
360 now on the 50Ks. That's a little bit, it's in between. It's not conservative, it's not aggressive. It's
I've got my 50 set to 300. I've got my 150 set, my 25 set to 200, and my 150s as well as my 300K set to 500.
Okay. How much for the
So
150s?
I won't. My 150s 500.
Okay, I got them higher. I got it at 720.
I'm strict, like really strict with that, because
Yeah.
I don't need to risk that, right? And even that, to be honest with you, I would prefer, instead of a DLL, like a daily loss limit, I want to see if there's a way so that I can put like a lockout per trade, right? Because for me, my problem is not a DLL. My problem is when I'm wrong, walk the heck away, stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, shut that damn position down. I did it the other day. It was in the green, right? But I immediately identified that I was invalidated, dragged my stop up. I could have just hit the X, which I should have. I would have booked another 15, 20 bucks, whatever. But immediately I said, I'm closing this position. If this thing pulls back, I'm out of this position and I don't care. And I stopped me out and I didn't take another trade. But my problem is not being able to walk away from those losers, right? So if I can lock in or lock out on a singular trade, and I know that I have, let's say, $100 maximum risk, that's also going to prevent me from going in too big. So if I'm giving myself $100 risk and I'm going in with 1 and 2 micros, right, it keeps you somewhat safer.
I'm sorry.
What happened?
Crispy cracks me up. Moving
What
your
is that,
stop.
his dinosaur?
Moving your stop is an artistic choice.
How come I can't see your chat?
No, it's your chat.
Oh, he's writing in my chat.
He's
Let's see what he
hilarious, this
says.
guy. Tell him I'm his biggest fan.
Crispy's hilarious. Yeah, he's one of my best friends, man. I know him for a long time.
Something just traded. Oh yeah.
Crispy's my workout buddy too.
Okay, let's take a long over here. Let's see what we get.
I like that. I'm not opposed. I just need a little bit more data, and I want to do a little bit of analyzing prior to jumping into anything. I was looking at the 3 minute,
Sell
but
stop. I'm even putting in a stop. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get into the habit of doing that. I think it's a mistake not to put them in. Thank you
and
for
I
the
think
advice.
you do it with an ATM, right? You can set up preset
Oh,
ATM strategy, you know, where it's an aggressive stop. At least if you got 60 points, half.
Yeah,
right?
and it's an emergency.
An emergency stop, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you have an emergency set to half your DLL, right? Not to kill the whole DLL if you got a crazy. And let me tell you something, futures. Oof, that was my knee just cracked. That was not cool. The reality is, you got a candle like that, and you have a stop set to 30 points, and it drops down and it wicks past it. You may not get stopped out for 30.
No, I know. I was
stopped
going to
out.
tell you that. I was going to tell you that. Yeah, absolutely.
You may still catch a 40-point stop, even with
Yeah.
a hard one in the books. You know,
Sure. Slippage, absolutely.
You know, so it's kind of nuts. You know, this market can definitely be nuts, guys. Especially lately, it's been super volatile. I mean, look at these damn openings for this freaking market open. Jeez. And all this is the algorithm giving itself this much room to just shit on everybody, right? Liquidity buy side, liquidity sell side, buy side. Like, what are we working with on sell side here? 15 minutes. Then I want to get into my analysis. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I've got lower targets, guys. Futures, you've heard me say this already, right? Plenty of times.
Oh, yeah, you have very low targets, actually, if we're thinking about the
Correct.
same thing here. Yeah.
My targets, guys, are somewhere in the 12 to 10,000 range. And I'm not talking about getting there in the next couple of years, right? Like in slow motion. No, I'm thinking we're going to be jumping out some windows, right? I think we're going to jump out some windows. Just saying.
Well, that'll
right,
be some crazy volatility.
And it's aligning now, right? It's aligning right now with exactly with what I want to see. It's dropping down almost identical futures to my analysis here, right? Look at that. Again, we don't touch this analysis. When I go into this 2-year analysis that was done a month and a half ago, we don't touch it,
Okay.
right? I will not move levels other than moving them over once confirmed, right? Like if I get my low pivot here and then we're up over here and we confirm, you'll see me simply move it to the left. I won't even align it, right? If I was off, I won't even align it to where the pivot moves. It will simply sit here, and I'm holding tight to this analysis. So, did not want to move it.
No shit.
So we're not quite there, right? So right now, lower targets with consolidation, right? With the price action we're getting, I'm thinking this, right? It can be some fuckery, right? Could come up, take out some high over here. Doesn't have to get here yet, right? Get down here and then give us a pump up here, right? And then give you some more fuckery. So, we're looking at like a weekly analysis. I'm showing you daily candles that could potentially look like this. But once we get here and we get our little reversal showing right over here, oof, I'm not going to miss this short. I don't know about you guys. I'm not missing this short. I'm going to be in that short. But again, guys, I suck at trading, right? These payouts that I'm getting are flukes. We're sitting pretty, about 60 plus K in equity, but it's luck. It's luck. We suck as traders, guys. As we're just here to stream. We're here to entertain you guys.
We're here to show you how bad we are.
Exactly. And I shit you not, because you guys see good, but you don't listen to, you don't catch on to the bad, right? I blew 4 funded accounts that were hovering payout because I suck at trading, right? I might be a good analyst. I might read the market well. You might be a good analyst and read the market well, but if you got no discipline and you turn around and you end up with $6,100, $6,100 loss, and then your winners are much smaller, it's not really a good day. All right, granted, that day was a $6,100 loss and we made $11,500. Fine. Bad example. But the point I'm making is you got to follow your rules, guys. You got to stay disciplined, and that's how you're going to find success. And for me, the biggest part of me remaining disciplined is trusting my analysis. Going with the trades the way I see them, right? So you guys have to figure out what that is for you, right? Mike takes the trades he takes the way he takes them. John takes the trades the way John takes them. That's how we are as individuals, guys. And you got to make sure you're doing the same thing. I don't care if it's a breakout. I don't care if it's a RSI. I don't care if you're scalping using, what are those bars you use again, Mike?
Renko.
Right?
Renko.
It doesn't make a difference, guys. They all work. What doesn't work is when the human part of it interferes, and all of a sudden you have no stop loss. You're feeling godlike. That's where we screw up, guys. So for me, I've showed this before. I'll show it again because I want to share, right? That's what I'm looking for long term. So as I mentioned, and you heard Mike agree, my targets are low. I don't have higher targets, and I understand that we trade intraday, right, Mike? We don't, you're a scalper.
Yeah, it's as I was gonna say. I mean, we can have lower targets, but we still got to see what's happening during the day. I don't think
right.
you're not blindly shorting all the time. You're still taking longs occasionally.
Absolutely, of course.
That's just the longer time frame bias,
correct.
The higher time frame bias.
Absolutely, without a doubt, 100%. And I'm not gonna say that I prefer longs right now over shorts when my higher time frame bias is to the downside. No, I would much prefer a pullback to jump into a short.
Yeah.
But what happens when we're in a day? Let's go into, let's say, the hourly, right? What happens when we're stuck consolidating, right? What happens when you're on an hourly time frame and you're stuck between a range and you're just squeezing, right? Because if you go to the hourly right now, you've seen this setup happen many times on lower time frames, and you're going to squeeze, right? You got these higher lows, and then you got these lower highs, okay? Now, I think we're approaching the apex on the hourly, so we're going to see a move. But you go back and you look at how long we were stuck in this consolidation on this bull flag, right? It was from Wednesday when we got to the top.
I'm actually looking at the hourly. It looks like we broke below it, actually, in my opinion.
You mean here in this? Yeah. So that's the other thing. You know, a lot of people might be looking at this. Oh, bull flag, bull flag, bull flag, right? But are we? You know, is it a bull flag? What happens if we go to the 4-hour? Oh my gosh, is this still a bear flag? And we just came into the golden pocket here. Are we now sitting at, you know, somewhere along the lines of the 786 to 80%? Yes, we are. Almost to the tick. So, is this a higher time frame bear flag? Because maybe on a daily it looks like a
oh
even
my
bigger
God.
bear flag.
Yeah, no, take a look at the daily. I'm just drawing it in now.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, take a look
and
at the
did we
daily.
hit the optimal, right? Are we going to get that one more sweep up? I think so. And that's kind of what I'm anticipating. I think we're going to come down to about that 17, maybe 18,000 even. And then I think we're going to come up to make one more pivot, potentially even tap into that high one more time. Not much, maybe 19.5, maybe 19.6, right? So I want to see us get down to 18,000. And then I want to see us get back up anywhere between 19.1 to 19.6. And then I want to see us drop. And then I want to see obviously a consolidation, a small one, nothing crazy, maybe a little sell model. And then I want to make sure I don't miss that short.
Yeah, we have a couple of levels at the 18,000, but when there was that rug pull, we just blew right through it. But there are a couple of levels at the 18,000 back in August of last year and April of last year. But not on the daily. It looks like we put down. I'm curious to see what tomorrow brings. I'm really curious tomorrow to see what tomorrow brings. If tomorrow goes down by, if we're trading down by 200, 300, 400 points, I think we just might be making our next leg, our next move down, our next leg down.
Correct, exactly. So for me, the 18,000s that you're talking about, futures, are those equal lows.
Yeah.
That I was targeting for this drop. I remember I took about 500, 600, 700 points of this. Obviously, it went a lot. It was a lot more, right? 19,636 to 17,443, right? But I took about 300 to 400 points on probably every single day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? 150 to 300 point trades, all of them, just following my plan here. Now I got a little choked up on that on Friday, right? Thursday, I think it was, right? Was it Thursday? No, I think it was Friday. I got a little choked up on Friday because this is not when we had the screw up, right? The screw up happened over here on the 10th. So I got choked up a little bit on this Friday candle because I was expecting a pullback. So once we came into those lows, right to the lows, I was actually expecting a little bit lower and then somewhat of a pullback with a wick finish. I did not expect that body like that on Friday. So I don't think I did much on Friday. Let me actually go and look back on my channel. I want to see how that day ended. Not the entire video. I just want to see the profits of the live stream. Was it a loss that day? And what day was that? We said that was the 4th. So that would have been
the 4th.
11 days. So that would have been, I guess, the 11-day stream. Streamed 11 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're going that far
Yeah.
back.
So we ended about. Yeah, we ended 2,400 green for the day. We ended 2,400 green for that day. The day before that, we ended 609 green, and the one before that was 2,000 green. So that was my drop. Like I said, I took it every single day.
Yeah.
You know,
good numbers.
every single day, and I banked on my analysis. Right? You gotta go with what works for you guys, man. You know, believe in yourselves too. Once you find something that works, you gotta believe a little bit. That's one of my other problems, Mike. You know, I screw up I analyze well, and then I lose confidence.
Yeah,
I
but
lose
you know
confidence
what?
in
That I
myself.
think that happens to everybody, no matter how long you've been doing it, because you go through. You're going to go through tough periods. It's just going to be there's no way of avoiding it. There's going to be times when the market doesn't work for the way you analyze it, for the way you trade it, and yeah, you got to be confident to know that my system is good and this is just temporary, and I'm gonna get through it. But a lot of people, that's when they start bailing and looking for a new system or looking to tweak and adjust.
Right.
So
Nothing wrong with adjusting, right? We're always going to adjust. If there's a reason to adjust, you adjust. And the only way I can see a necessary adjustment is based on data. So I'm not going to just jump in and make an adjustment based on 5 trades, right? You want to make sure, or at least analyze the data, right? You don't have to take the trades,
yeah.
tape the trade, right? And that's still the same data. So, but yeah, I don't disagree with you. I guess.
I make adjustments all the time, but I'm still using the same system. I'm still using the bands. You know, I make adjustments based on the size of my stops, my profit target, based on the volatility. So when the volatility is high, it wouldn't make sense for me to still keep such tight targets and tight stops. So I'll make adjustments like that all the time. But the main logic behind the system, yeah, you know, now that I've been trading it for so long, I'm comfortable trading it all the time because I know, you know, that just comes, I think, with experience.
With time.
Yeah.
It comes with time, and it comes with data, right? Because that data is...
That's the magic word. Yeah, the data.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You need the data, guys. You need the data. And I can't believe this is about to come out of my mouth. I can't believe that. If my brother's watching this, he's gonna just laugh. Journal, guys. You gotta journal.
That's hard.
It doesn't matter how you do it.
That's
you want
hard.
to become a YouTube streamer. You want to record your videos. You want to go back and look at your data when you can, right? That's the whole point. So I don't care if you're streaming it, if you're writing it, you're taking pictures, you're writing on your charts. Look, screenshot, whatever, but journal it. Journal your trades, right? How many trades did you take for the day? How many wins did you have? How many losses did you have? Did you follow your plan for those trades? Journal, guys.
Yeah, I do that, but not. I call it a daily report card, and I analyze my my performance for the day.
That's what it is. But that's exactly what you. That's called journaling.
You know,
right?
we talked about it. We talked about it early on. When I said my wife will ask me how was your day, and I say, well, for me it was good. For you it was bad. I followed all my rules, but I was red. What do you want me to do? You know, I'm good with that. You know, I'm happy. It was a good day because I know in the long run that'll pay off.
That's all that my wife. That's the only question she asks me. Are we making money yet? Nope. Spend another $2,000 this month, babe. Oh man, what's Crispy doing here? I'm over here.
Is he
kind of
back?
Just chit chat with you. Let me. I want to chit chat with Crispy a little bit.
Yeah, no, he said his last chat
I'll be back
cracked me up again.
At exactly 8:30 for my first trade. He was taking off. That's what it was.
He said
okay.
he wants to make his money before the market, before someone opens the windows. So he's got a long bias. This guy all the time, eh?
He has a what? Say it again.
He seems to have a long bias. Like I'm noticing he's not married to the longs.
No, Crispy's got his own little strategy that he's trading these days. I'm glad he's got it. He's got something figured out. It's based on what I've been trying to explain to him and what we look for, and what you want to wait for to take a trade. So he's looking for reversal patterns.
Okay.
But he doesn't get greedy, right? He's scalping them with 3 to 5 micros. But his problem is he doesn't have a stop loss. He doesn't use a stop loss often, kind of like what you've been doing lately, or the way you trade.
Yeah.
And he's found himself getting caught in those similar positions. But it's very difficult to close out your position when you're in with 3 micros, 4 micros, and you go red $700-800. right? If you don't have a DLL attached to your account, which at least helps a little bit, sometimes you see red and the first thing that comes to mind is let me DCA. I'm gonna dollar cost.
Yep, deer in the headlights. Yep.
You know, deer in the headlights, exactly. So you get stuck in those positions. No stop in the book. You're stuck. You're stuck. So when I take a trade, doesn't matter what it is, right? My screw up is I'm going to move my stop. And I don't mean adjust it. I don't mean the initial adjustment because, when I'm taking a trade, if I've got my ATM set to 2 micros, 80 point profit, 80 point stop, right? It's just 80 tick, excuse me. So I think I'm risking 40 bucks per contract with that, right? So that's an $80 trade on 2 micros, I think. I gotta check that.
80 ticks, yep, that's 20 points. 20 points is $40 a contract. That's
what
right.
I thought. That's what I thought. So, I know that I'm going into a position with an $80 stop, but I also understand that when I'm calculating my stop, when I'm looking to take a trade, right, I have my stop here set, for example, to 93, right, 693. Does that align? That's 20 points, absolutely, right? So I don't have to move anything. Now it's preset for a 20-point target, right? So I have it preset to a 1-to-1. But you'll see me quickly adjust both my take profit as well as my stop. Now that's only if my stop, let's say, comes up a little higher, right? If, like in this example, my stop would be going to, if I was in a long, I would be stopping out at 701, maybe 700 even, okay? If I was to enter my ATM, that's only 13 points. My stop would come in somewhere down in the 93 range. I would immediately move it up to 700 if I'm trading correctly, right? Immediately up to 700 because that's where my analysis, that's where the way I look to take trades and what I'm willing to risk in these positions at these levels, that's what it allows me for with 2 micros, right? Because I don't want to risk more than that. I can be down at the 93, but why? Why do I want to sit down by these equal lows? Can it sweep and move from here? Absolutely. But chances are that if we're coming down for these lows, I'm invalidated, right, with this trade. And this thing is going to be making another leg down. It might not happen now, and it might retrace, right? It's only the second tap that we had at this level. So good chance it could retrace. But I'm not willing to risk that for that trade. If it does, I'll look for another setup and I'll re-enter the trade, a new position. But at least here, I'm only risking 80 bucks. Singular micro, which I'm usually doing these days, 40 bucks, Mike. Come on, it makes sense. It makes sense. And you know how easy we recover from 40 bucks. How easy we recover from 80 bucks. But how easy do we recover from 400 bucks?
Yeah.
Big difference.
That is actually what I finally, I think, discovered, that it's so much better just to take your small loss. Toss in.
I'm still working on it.
Toss in like poker. Toss in the big blind. Someone raises, you don't have a good hand, just toss it, and on to the next hand. And that's it. On to the next trade.
That's correct.
Don't bury money for no reason if you don't have to.
Now look, if I attempted the long here and I got in here now, right, which I like the level, right? This is my optimal entry just on this move. We just hit the 618, right? I love the 618. Now, if I was attempting the long here, which I would, I'm not going to right now, just kind of, I told myself I'm trading a little less this week, right? It's Holy Week for us, so try not to press the button as much. If I see a good setup, I'll jump in with a singular micro. But for the most part, I'm just not taking every setup. I don't have data. I didn't really analyze. This is just like instinctual right now, just kind of first glance. But the point I was making was that I can afford, my risk parameters allow me for a stop loss right where I said I would enter, now at these lows, right? And maybe giving myself a few points, for that sneaky sweep that they do at the lows. 93 will go to 90 even, right? Nothing crazy, 3 points. But that puts my entry at 705 with a 90 stop. That's 15 points, even being, a little bit aggressive. So that's fine. Now, was this a good long? Yeah, probably. probably a decent one. Maybe not targeting the top here, targeting a 2 to 1, 2 to 1 R. Local highs.
Okay.
You want to be conservative, target the 50% of the green candle, your last up candle before your down play, right? And that still gives you a 1.4 R, right? And if you want to take profits on a 1-to-1, you take profits, boom, right here, TP1 hit, right at the highs, right at 97, right? Use the body, right? Even 1 R. And you got your 1 R trade, right? Now, I see these a lot, futures, but because I'm looking for something different, I find myself not taking
them
easy, not taking an easy 1 R, right? What's wrong with a 1 R? If we're in this, what the heck's wrong with a 1 R?
Yeah, I like the 1 Rs.
Nothing. I know you love 1 R.
I like 1 R.
We're not gonna say no to a 1 R, right?
I'm not gonna say no to a 2 R or 3 R either, but
right, exactly. But I have a tendency to try to wait and try to identify a trade that looks more like this.
Let me get your chart up.
You know, so I'd like to target something like a 5, a 1 to 5 risk to reward, right? A 1 to 4 on bare minimum. You know, and in something like this, in this case, right, I would be targeting at least the bottom of the gap, but I have a feeling that we're going to fill this gap.
I find
or
it
at
so
least
hard to sit
at
through
least the
moves
50%.
like that.
Huh?
So I find it so hard to sit through moves like that. Your hold period is like 30 minutes, 45 minutes,
I don't want to hold
hour and a half.
I have no desire to hold them any longer, right? I'm looking to jump into the move right here, right? What is this? This down, right? This is 12:48 to 12:56. Okay, this is eight minutes. You know, I'm not looking, even the pumps, even the move up, right? I'm looking to take this move, which is what? 8:28, even to the highs, 9:29. Okay, granted, that is an hour-long play. I know that you'd be in panic mode, right? holding a trade for an hour.
But you know what? Not entirely. I'm taking the opening drive now. I took them on Monday. I took them on Tuesday, and I've been holding them longer. Actually, I got 40, 60, and 80 points on Monday on a 3-lot.
Nice. Congratulations.
And I don't know what I did today, but I know it worked out. Let me see what... I don't remember how much I took. You know what? Guess what happens when you take a lot of trades? They all blend into each other and you forget. But I'm just looking at the chart here. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I went long at around 18,980. Probably got out at 19. Probably, you know, I know me. I probably got out at 19,020. About 40 points or something like that. But
40 points is a good trade, though.
No, but still holding.
Great
Still holding. That's my point is I'm making. I probably held for 10 minutes. Okay, there you go. I'm getting there.
As long as it's something that you're comfortable doing, right? It's not even about getting there, because if it's not something you enjoy doing, if you're not someone that can take a trade and just walk away from the computer, right? Sometimes I do, and that's where I find the most success, believe it or not. If, let's say, I'm looking for a trade.
Oh my God, yeah, no, everyone says that.
I'm going to the gym. I'm going to work out. I got my stop. I'm going to the other room. I'm going to go work out for an hour, come back, whatever happened.
Take your hands off the damn mouse.
Yep. That's I think some of the best information that I can give someone also.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of helping you turn mechanical. And I might want to try that. I might want to try it. If I'm trading off stream, maybe just enter a position and walk away.
Yeah.
$40 stop, $200 target, you know, whatever my target is, and walk away. Walk the heck away. Go upstairs. You know?
That's why I like
maybe I'll start doing that at one micro.
That's why I like running the sim, the algos on the sim. Because I get to watch them perform. I get to watch them hold the trade till the end all the time. Sure. And it's kind of like it's visual training for me, actually.
Are you able to run those sim bots with funded accounts? They won't stop you, right? They don't. It's not like they're running. How does that work? I know they say no bots and whatever.
No. You're allowed. You're allowed both in Bulenox, I know, and I know you're allowed in Apex. I can't say you're allowed with every firm.
I think what they don't want is the
purchased ones. They don't want 1,000 people running the same algo.
No. I think they don't want you to take like 1,000 trades. Like if it's a buy.
Ah, yeah, high
taking
frequency trading
that
also. Yeah,
high
HFTs.
frequency trading. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's where they draw the line.
Yeah, no, but Bulenox also, they have a rule. The third-party algo. If it's a third-party algo, in other words, it's not your own, you have to clear it with them.
Hell of a long though, right?
Yep.
30 points, 30 points with my eyes closed right there on that one, right? And that was just on first glance, right? I mean, I liked what it was doing. I think targeting right around here would have been my exit on this trade. Boom, look at that. We're going to turn around. 730, full exit on this trade, on this position.
Right at VWAP, right?
Don't even have VWAP open.
Right at VWAP, right?
Let's see where VWAP is. Is that where VWAP aligns? Oh, look at that. It's right on VWAP.
Yeah,
so,
you'll see it on
that's
the.
Funny enough.
Yeah. People use it.
It's funny how price action does react, on VWAP.
Yeah.
And if it aligns with a model completion, right? VWAP is definitely a good level for confluence, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't even have it open these days though. Futures. It's like I don't even use it.
Well, I don't use it to take a trade. I use it to avoid a trade. If I have a long and it's like 5 points under VWAP, I'm not going to take the trade. Just like if I have a long and it's a few points under the initial balance high. It's just because I know a lot of people are going to fade the trade. So it doesn't mean they're going to win. The buyers may push it through, but nonetheless, it's an extra obstacle that I don't want to deal with. Just think of it that way. Just think of it as an extra obstacle. It takes points off the trade.
And guys, even though you've heard me say that I'm a full-on algo trader, right? And I don't believe that people. What the heck happened to my screen? What the heck? So this has been going on non-stop, where my screens have been wigging out. If you guys didn't see that, I don't know if you can rewind my videos.
No,
but
I didn't see it.
that looked bugged out. Everything turned yellow. My red and my green disappeared. Price action kind of froze on me. I don't know. It's been doing it lately. But like I was saying, I'm an algo trader, right? So if you guys heard me, and in my videos or even in this co-stream, I trade the algorithm, and I don't think anybody controls where the market goes. However, I do believe when the algorithm is in a range, if there's a mass amount of sell stops sitting here, right? Or buy stops rather, because someone's selling over here, and the algorithm has a range to manipulate, you'll see it make some really crazy moves to go straight for that liquidity. Now that's basically the equivalent of someone pushing the market, right? It doesn't mean the algorithm is going to break out of the range that it's holding, though, in my opinion, until it's ready. And if that set of liquidity up there satisfied the algorithm, right, and it was still in its range, and it has a bearish trajectory, let's say for the day, you're going to see that big drop, right? You're going to see it come up, take out those orders, and then bloop, just flush. One nice big candle. And that's where I guess potentially we bunny ears up, move the market, right? The big institutions sell off. We got to always remember though, guys, just because a big institutional player is going to sell off and the algorithm will react to the buy and sell stops that are sitting in the market, it still has to react within the range that the algorithm is trading within, in my opinion. All right. And just because it takes the liquidity here on buy side because it's sitting there, it doesn't mean that the algorithm is going to fall outside of the plan. There has to be enough people that are willing to buy, a stock up here in order for it to sell off. So just because an institutional player is going to put the order in doesn't mean it's going to hit. Might get a fraction of it that hits, and the algo just simply he just gave the algorithm enough liquidity to make the move.
Yeah.
So that's my thought. On the market. I'm new, guys. Like I said, I don't really know much about how this thing works. I'm trying to figure it out, and I really do hope I do in the near future, right? For everyone's sake. Jeez, if we can take a couple of mil out of this market over the next couple of years, right? Futures.
I won't complain.
I'm not gonna complain about it. So that's the plan, guys, right? That's the plan. How we looking over here, futures? How we looking on the trades? Any
I don't
luck so
know.
far?
I had a couple of longs, a couple of shorts. I don't know. I took a few. I took a long early on. I didn't get the 30 points that you caught, but I caught a little bit. But I just caught a loser right now, a full loser. So not really doing anything.
Just trading an eval? Right now?
Yeah, trading an eval, treading water, going up a little bit, going down a little bit.
1-2 micros.
Hoping to
Just
catch a
keeping it real
move.
small?
No, 4 or 5. It's a 250K this, so there's no point in doing 1s and 2s. It's too small. But I'm looking at the volatility. It's not bad. I can't complain with the volatility. It's 10 points. The average range of 1 minute candles. I mean, that's good for this hour of the day. You know, there's been a whole host of days at this hour, 8 o'clock, where your average candle, your average 1 minute candle is 3 points. That's discouraging. That's when I can't do, you know, nobody can do anything. I mean, I've seen other traders do it, you know, try to trade in that environment also. You come back an hour later, they're up 2 points. It's
super sluggish. Yeah,
it's ridiculous to trade.
I'm not a big fan of that either. That's the Asia market for you, though, right? Because you know that's just the algorithm going into a consolidating range. I think we're gonna have a pretty decent range right now. Like when I mean decent range, I think that with the drop that we got this morning, the algo should consolidate, but I think it's going to leave us in a decent range. I think it's going to stay within a range that's going to allow some decent plays if we catch the bottoms and the tops of that range.
Right now, though, can't complain about the volatility. As you know, as long as it sticks around, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
overall, though, for this evening right now, I still have a short bias. I mean, since 8:30, 18:30 with 6:30, we've pretty much been trading lower. Slowly, but we've been trading lower. Had a little bit of a recovery here for the last, let's say, half an hour, but you know, it does look like the shorts are the most likely trades to work out right now.
I mean, we opened bearish, like super bearish,
but not a lot of follow through. I mean, if we look from the bottom of each, from one swing to another, it's 25 points here, 18,694 to 722, another 25 points. Those are the upswings. This one also 730, 708, 22 points. The downswings are larger, 730, 694, that's 35 points. This one over here, 61 down to 15, that's 46 points. So the downswings are a little bit stronger overall.
Yeah, a little bit. We've got some decent up ones.
Yeah, a little bit. That's the best.
And that was the best one we got, right?
That's the best way to describe it. A little bit, not a lot. I mean, we don't have a 300 point. We do have a 200 point range or whatever, but it's none of that really since after the first 2 minutes. What do we have after the first 2 minutes? We're 704, 776. So for me, the entire range of the day right now of the evening is 72 points. Whoa, that was nice.
Oh, there we go. Nice job. I'm over here trying to just do a little analysis here. And we just had a nice reaction. Sell side. It's exactly why we would have been out of that trade up there, guys. And that was the exit. Full exit. Full.
So we just took out the evening session lows. I think for the second time. Or we had a double bottom there. See, that's crazy. How many times that happens? It just takes out the lows and then comes right back up.
Remember, didn't I say that my stop would have been at 93? Where did we hit, futures? I didn't even see it.
83.75. Somewhere in that. If I go to the data box, the low is... where's my data box? Data box. Oh, it should be opened.
I'm checking now.
I gotta
about 82. It. Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
The low was 83 even. 83 even with a sweep. Look at that. With a sweep of the lows. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I'm thinking there's a trade to formulate around this type of movement. I'm just not sure how to frame it so that the risk profile is good. Because if I'm looking at the same thing, you know, if I'm looking at 1928, 728, 727, we took out the swing low from 714 and we went higher. Then at 735, we took out the swing low from 728 and we went higher. And here now we just took out the swing low from 736 and we're going higher. But that first candle is usually large. I don't know if you can see on my chart there, but that first candle is usually large, and it doesn't leave you, after the first candle, it really doesn't leave you much room.
The one with the wick, you mean?
Well, all of them. The one at 7:15, the one at 7:29, the other one at 7:36, 37. The candle right after breaking the previous swing low. But it's a pattern that you just see repeat over and over and over again. It's exactly like what you're talking. It's exactly like what I think you're targeting, except you're targeting the major swing points. And
this is the algorithm reversal. This is the algorithmic reversal that we look for, right? This is a sweep of the lows, right? Now these are local lows, meaning it's just the low from the open, right? And then we just made a new low. So this is the new low for the sessions. And actually, this is now Asia's low, right? 8 p.m. Isn't that the open? Or is it 10? 22. 22, I think, is the Asia low. 22. So this is the AM sessions low. New low. But we're still going to have the Asia low that's going to come in.
Yeah, Asia opens. I don't know, 8, 9, 10. Everyone has a different opinion.
I think this is the official open, but I don't think we count it until 10 p.m.
Yeah. Well, see, maybe I'll jump in a short over here.
Let me see. I'll check my ICT everything. I think I have it marked. London 2 to 5. New York 7:10, and then close. Asia 8 to midnight. So I guess this is that we just put in the Asia low.
Okay.
Oof, that should pump.
'07. I'm long it. I'm short at '03. No good. I hesitated on the entry.
What'd you take?
Short. The algo went short, so I jumped in also. But I hesitated on
this is the first time that we got down here, futures, right? Nothing is going to stop us from creating a new low for Asia while we're still down here. So, you know, you want to just be cautious at these levels.
I put in my emergency stop. It's already in. 27 points.
I love it.
27 points. Yeah, no, it's stupid not to have the emergency stop in. I had it for a while, just for a couple of days, but then I removed it. But no, it's look, it doesn't do anything. I could still manually work my trades, so why not have it? Why not have it in?
That's my point.
1, 2,
I think
3.
it's just it'll help, overall.
A 97. Let's see if I can get in at 02 again. Let's get a little higher.
I wish I was able to stretch my path tool, because every time I draw it out, if I want to do something else with it, it just doesn't allow me to stretch it. So I have to keep moving it, and it's so annoying.
Okay, well, the algo took out 25 points. I don't know what I took out for. Okay, we're about even. The algo's up 25 points, and I'm trading 4 lots, 5 lots. I'm up about double, so I'm keeping
Up
up.
about 50 points. Not bad.
No. 4, 8. Hold on. $8. Wait a minute. The algo's. Oh, no. I'm an idiot. No, the algo's trading a 1 lot. And it's up about 25 points. Yeah, no, I'm only doing half as good. Sorry. I'm up about 12 points, 13 points. Yeah.
So your algo's killing it right now.
They're not bad for the evening session. It's a pretty reliable. It's pretty reliable. The only thing, sometimes when we're in a strong trend, it'll reverse. It'll change its bias a little bit too often for my liking. It's maybe I can increase or decrease the sensitivity, but in general, it performs very well. Had a couple two rough days, but I rely on those trades. I like them. I take them when I see them. I'm eager to take them. They're very well defined. I know what the stop loss is going to be. All I got to do is just look at the ATR, the average range, and that's what it's targeting. It's a 1-to-1, both sides, and especially if I can get in with the. See, that's why I got in late. Remember, I told you I got in 4 or 5 points worse than the algos because I was trying to get a better price. Because if I can get it, if it's targeting 12 points and the stop loss is 12 points, if it goes even 3 points in drawdown, right? Now the stop is only 9 points and the target is 15 points. So that really drastically changes the risk profile. So I always try to get a better price, but in this case, what I did is I FOMO'd in because I couldn't get a better price, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just let it go. Because now what I've done is my target is closer and my stop is farther. So that's an error. So you're talking about journaling your trades. That's an error. That goes into my brain and that goes into my daily report card, and that brings my score down by, I grade myself out of 100, and for something like that, that's probably 10 points off. The thing is, what I do is I get out of them right away because I realize my mistake, so I get out of it quite quickly.
Where's Woodchip? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he told me he was sick the last time I saw him, and I don't know, maybe he's got a bad cold.
Well, it's definitely the weather
He's taking a hiatus.
Sure. Definitely the weather to get sick.
Well, no, not for him. He lives in sunny California. He lives in a different different part of the world than we do.
Yeah, the one that we're in is kind of nuts, so that's for sure. I think I want to eliminate that.
My parents came here during the war, and I always said, really? You came here during the war. Of course, I'm talking World War II. Of all the places you had to pick somewhere where there's a winter. You could have gone anywhere. There was everybody. You were welcome anywhere you wanted to go. The world was open to you. And you chose a winter climate. But I understand. The guy, all their family came here first. They were stragglers.
And same thing with me. We were from Greece. My roots, so they came from tropical weather. And
why did you leave? I know, eh?
Well, I don't know what he was thinking. What they were thinking. A better life, right? You come to America for a better life.
That's it. Yeah.
It's a reality.
I know a lot of I think I've told you. Most of all my friends are Greek. Most all my friends were Greek when I was younger, also. And
America
that's it.
fed everyone the lies of the American dream.
The parents, but they were struggling. They were struggling. Come on.
Everywhere else was much tougher, though. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right? That's the reality. That's the reality, man.
I mean, I wouldn't wish my dad's childhood on anybody. Seriously. There was no going to school. I think it was. I'll go 10 years old. I think it was younger, but by 10 years old, he was out on the street working to help support the family.
How it goes sometimes. That's just how it goes. That is the reality. And it's, it's changed nowadays, right? And that was, I guess, kind of the plan. That was the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, but once he came here, he got a job, he got a place to live. So that was a much better life than what they were going through where he came from. And my
Yeah,
mom,
there's
Jesus, it's not a
the
competition.
struggles are definitely real,
Yeah.
in certain parts of the country. And
But I tell my
as this
kids,
this economy too, got to be really cautious with the next couple of years.
try to get somewhere warm if you can. It
I know, man.
changes the way you live. It's a whole different, like I don't know Greece, but all my Greek friends tell me the way of life is just completely different over there than how we live. The chasing your tail that we do over here and doesn't exist over there. They take it easy, they work, but they also take it
Mike,
easy.
they
They
go
have a
home
life.
for lunch. They go
Yeah.
home for lunch to sleep, for crying out loud. I don't know if they still do that, but I know when I was out there when I was younger, 13, 17 even, I know it was a thing. I know that if you weren't going, 'cause they would shut the doors. The stores would shut the doors. They would sleep in the back, just relax, maybe not necessarily sleep, but
And then the 10 o'clock suppers with your friends and the cafes.
of course, all the time. They definitely enjoy their life.
Yeah.
All right, and you want to know something? That's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be,
Yeah.
in
And the
my
thing
opinion.
is, the way they describe it and the way I see them talk, they talk with such, such a smile on their face. It's like they don't take it for granted. They know it's fantastic, and it's like they're proud of it and they're happy and they're full of joy.
But I have to say, I don't know that it's the same anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right? I can't really.
I've heard it's changed. I've heard that well, I don't know how to be politically correct, so I'm not going to say anything, but I've heard it's changed.
Just everything. I mean, just globally,
Yeah.
right? As time progresses, things change. It's not what it used to be. Nobody's slowed down like that. Nobody's slowing down the way they were able to before. Everybody's starving right now. That's the reality. There's a lot of people that do not have work, and they're begging to find something. I'm gonna enter one micro just for laughs while I go grab a coffee down the street. What are you doing now, Crispy? Long or short? Taking longs or short?
Tell Crispy I went short.
He can hear you.
Okay. Crispy, I sold to you for long.
You did say Crispy likes to take longs, right, Futures?
Yeah, well, it does seem since I've been watching, I think almost all the time it's long. Just a coincidence, I guess.
There's a long way before short. Long? He's long.
Well, I'm slowly getting out of mine because it's really not going anywhere. Goodbye. I'm out. Okay, I don't know what I did on that, but... on to the next.
I'm over here just drawing on my chart, just with a path tool. No big deal. My AM stream was kind of, I got stuck in this bias also doing this. Not stuck in the bias, it's just been taking me forever to deliver what I'm looking for here. With this stupid tool.
Well,
And then I have to restart a couple of times.
Coming up to 8:30. You know what I say about 8:30, eh? That either the low,
that's your low.
The lower
That's
the high
low.
could be put in if it's a one-way market, and this has pretty much been a one-way market for.
I can certainly see this being the low.
So we'll see. Which would I would be inclined to take the algo's next trade long if it can switch to a long bias. Wouldn't take much because that's an aggressive price channel. Maybe one more candle even. Let's get back now up over view up. and fill the gap? No, I think that's a little... you know what? Making a joke.
This is where we definitely got a small
It's a possibility.
market structure shift on the 5 second to go up here. I'm not opposed to some higher price actions, some longs around here. Oh boy, this is TDS. Anybody watching the stream, like, what the heck is this guy doing over here with this stupid path tool? We all know how to trace.
Let's go see what you're drawing.
Don't look at what I'm doing over here.
Let's go. Let's go. Put you on full screen.
Let's disregard what's going on over here. We're not doing anything. We are not doing anything here. I'm just about to annoy the shit out of myself.
Oh, no kidding. Trading lower, eh?
Magnets off.
Hey, Coach Fred. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Coach Fred? Good to see you, bud.
You have better charts than Joker. Yeah, I have more colors. Wow, look at that. Go see this.
Better charts than Joker. What's that supposed to mean, man?
Mine are more colorful.
Who said that? Who said that about my charts?
Crispy.
Oh, Crispy's gonna get it.
He's joking.
Gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
You owe me one, Coach Fred.
I don't want to sit here moving this whole thing. I just want to.
Wow. Tough sitting, just waiting for a friggin' setup when volatility's low. And volatility's not that low.
It's not.
It's
I think
not
you're getting
that low.
Some type of movement here. Just you know, it's at this range right now at the bottom after that big move. Like, the only thing you really want to look for here is for longs. And if it keeps on playing the way it's playing on the short side, it's like, yeah, I don't even want to. Do I want to take this trade? You know?
I mean, I'm okay with shorts, but I just gotta get a little bit of a retrace.
Right.
And because it's so slow, yeah.
Like, I like that long that I didn't take, right? Right to those highs. That was decent. But past that, I haven't really gotten anything super clean. I think we might be getting something coming in right now. Looking for 20K R or what? Are you looking? A 20. You better believe I'm looking for those 20Xs. You better believe it. Love the naked charts too. Yeah, I don't like too much stuff on my charts, Coach Red. I'm pretty much just end dogs, end wogs, right? New week opening gaps, new day opening gaps. I can mark them out. I know exactly where they are, the equilibriums of those gaps. But other than that, my charts are pretty empty now. Like, I don't like much noise on my screen.
Oh, my day was a mixed bag. I did great on some accounts, and I did quite poorly on other accounts. But I got caught in a vacuum at I forgot what time it was, but I was showing Joker.
10?
Yeah, I'll go look again.
I think it was a 10.
Yeah, no, 10:47. That was actually 10:47. Your charts will be 10:46. It was a 100 point rug pull in like a couple of seconds, and I got caught on the wrong side of that. So that was that was pretty much the highlight of my day. But other than that, my scalping was very good. I was very happy with what I did and how I did it, and I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged I'm encouraged because I'm taking my losses much better than I used to. It looks like I've hopefully solved that problem.
That's what I need to work on.
Knock on,
That's my biggest problem.
as my dad would say, old generation, knock on wood, and you would say something. So let's hope that that maintains, because when I do it, I mean Monday I went into the red also quite steeply, and I recovered. It was a long grind, but I was just slugging it out. Singles, 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 doubles, singles, singles. And I was able to climb out of the hole. I was very proud of myself. I said, wow, look at that. And it all comes down to just the fact that I'm taking my losses. Where before I would let them run away a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take this long over here. It's got an even a better price. System went long at 87. I went long at 82. 87. The stop is about 10 points, so 77.
Oh boy, I think I'm dialing in. I think I'm dialing in, Mike.
Are we going in the same direction?
I haven't dialed that far in yet, Mike.
Yeah.
We're not that much dialed in yet. We're working on it.
No, it might get stopped out, though. Might get stopped out. We're pretty close. I'll have to see. 14 seconds. If it touched it, it'll close the trade. Boop. Nope, didn't touch it. See, this is what I hate. I hate when it just nicks it, and then I gotta wait the whole minute. I'm gonna take my loss. To hell with it. See that gold? No, I didn't. Let's go see what's happening with gold. Gold. We'll go to the daily. Wow. Yeah. What a remarkable recovery from the from that 4-day dump, 3-day dump. Okay, so the algo's going to close out the trade when the minute is done. On gold, well, that's a daily gold, and that'll be the 50, the 100, and the 200. But this is a daily chart. Same thing with crude. It's just to keep an eye on them. So it's a pretty strong trend when the 50's over the 100 and the 100's over the 200. And if I look at MNQ, 50's under both of them. And the 100 is starting to curve lower, so. Oh, I didn't even notice. Yep. No, that's the 50 right here. First one is the 50. If you're talking on gold. Should be the 50. Let me open it up. I double clicked it. I don't know what it's waiting for. There we go. EMA 50, yeah, and then 100 and 200. Cancel. So what'd we do? Again, 1 bar, take out the low, previous swing low, trade higher. 1 bar, take out the previous swing low, trade higher. 1 bar, take out the previous swing low, we trade higher. Well, let's try. Let's see. Let's go for a 3 lot. Seems to be the pattern.
Stop filled.
Stop filled. Oh, well, look at that. I got it on my speaker.
I want to take a long here.
Wow, that
Thinking
was a
about
nice
it.
little bounce.
Only up to the local highs.
Tell Joker that you are seeing a nice IFBG. Not yet. And we have to close above 671. At least on the 1 minute. I don't know if he uses it. Joker, do you use inverted fair value gaps sometimes?
Look at them. I don't, I use more levels than anything, but I absolutely do look at fair value gaps. And an inverse fair value gap is basically just liquidity being taken, right? Because it's internal. Fair value gap is basically stop orders resting in those levels. All right, so we are, for the most part, done local analysis. I will be looking to take these moves as they come, and this is pretty shitty price action so far. I do not like what this looks like, and all I'm seeing is honestly lower targets. I don't know that we're gonna be seeing up today. Let's get rid of this noise. I don't know why it's still sitting there for a small trade. And
Yeah, Coach Fred, my boys are trading ICT, and actually Alex is starting to look into trading it on gold. I didn't have anything. I didn't have an opinion on it. I didn't say anything to him. He said he wanted to start doing some research on gold.
Oh, and that's where Coach Fred got confused. I'm assuming he was looking at this. I had this up. Remember when I was showing you something before, futures, and he saw this big long when all we were targeting was
that
one R that hit.
Yeah, I saw you said something about 20R or 10R or 16R.
It was here. Like that. I think this all we were targeting was right here, Coach Fred. Yeah, I think that's what he was referring to. Now I was just showing something what I like to look for. I don't know. I don't get them often, you know. I mean, I do. I get them often enough. I have to say, I do get them often enough. When it comes to those big 150 plus point moves. A lot of my trades are actually over 100 points.
Wow. Well, I say wow, but in this environment, sometimes 100 points comes pretty damn fast.
Pretty fast. Yeah. Well, in this environment, my average calls are about 600 to 700, 300, 400, but I'm a chicken shit. I just can't stay in the trade long enough. I watch it play out. I'm just not in it past 150 or 200 points. But I'm taking 200, 250 with this volatility on trades.
I think I'm going to switch accounts. That's my budget for this evening on that account.
All right, so that I need to label.
Are you copy trading? Like if you're going to take trades, let's say tomorrow during the day or anything, are you back to copy trading? I don't know.
I'm copy trading every day. I copy trade my Bulenox accounts.
Okay.
I've got three Bulenox accounts. I copy all three of them. I have a daily loss limit now. Again, I think I fixed it. I didn't tell you. I don't think you heard.
Maybe
So
not.
I got stopped out. I took a trade the very next day,
Okay.
2 trades actually, and I got stopped out for daily loss limit. So it stopped me. So I thought, right, which it did. I think it stopped me out. And then what I did was I tested it. I pressed the buy, sell.
Oh
sell.
yeah. Oh yeah. It'll let you take a trade, but it'll take you out right away.
It didn't take me out.
Oh no.
It wouldn't show. It didn't show up on my Ninja Trader. It didn't even show up on my Rhythmic. But all of a sudden, I look at my thing later on the Rhythmic when I went to check and shut everything down towards the PM session, and I'm rolling. I'm rolling green, not red, because I pressed the button twice, or 3 times. I think it was like 2 contracts or something, whatever it was. But it entered me with like 3 micros or so. It was 2 or 3 micros. Short, rolling short. Made back my profits that I lost on those 2 trades by accident. Not all of them. Not all of them. I was still red for the day. I think I had closed. I closed it right away. I was like, whoa, what is this? What's going on? Green, red. I don't think it make a difference. I didn't think it made a difference, right?
Yeah.
So I closed it out. I was green like $200, $230. I was still red 70. So at that point, I was like, you know what? My model's coming in. It played out the short. Do we have the setup? We have the setup. Let's take another trade, 2 micros. I took the trade 2 micros since I had 270 left in my daily drawdown again. And I ended up closing out green 360 on all those accounts, give or take.
Yeah.
So it ended up being a winner, but I looked into what happened, and one of my accounts never locked in the DLL.
I got you. Yeah.
It was disabled. So it was my leader account, and for whatever reason, when I was copying with the Apex copier, it did it to all of them. Even though they had the DLL locked in, it didn't lock me out. I don't know if it was a glitch. Whatever it was. I went and I turned it on all of them. I haven't retested it because I haven't taken any trades since then. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. I think it should work well. I don't think I'm going to be pressing the button this time after I get stopped out of my DLL just to test it. We don't need to test anything.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's hold on, I was taking a short. It's
No worries.
not even close to as reliable as the PDLL is in Topstep X. Topstep X
Really?
is just phenomenal. Like I said, $1 beyond your DLL and it takes you out. But the one in Tradeovate and Rhythmic, I find they let you go beyond, and then you can still click. You can go, you can buy market. It'll just take you out. It doesn't give you, at least the way I remember it, maybe not with Tradeovate, but with Rhythmic, I think you can still do buy market and then it sells. So you're kind of paying the spread and commission every time. It shouldn't even allow you to take a trade.
Interesting. That's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm pretty much analyzed here. I like that long. I was, almost jumped into that long, targeting those local highs. I didn't take it yet. I want to see a little bit more data. But the reality is, I'm not really seeing. I'm not seeing bullish price action right now. I see a small retracement, perhaps, but I'm not really seeing full-on bullish price action. No, not even a lower time frame shift. I mean, we have a small shift potentially wanted to start on the 5-second, 30-second. The 1 minute's not even as clean. And I don't even know, is this even the low? Should be. I don't want to really see it go much lower than this according to what I'm looking for.
What the hell just happened there? Oh, it covered.
What happened?
Oh, the algo covered its trade.
All the EMAs.
Confused
I have
me.
them. I don't use them, Fred, but let's take a look. Where are they? Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I think we tapped to 21. I think that's my 21, or is that my, what's the red one? 20, 21. That's my 20.
You
I
should
think
put a
orange is
20 on the
my
chart.
50, 100, and 200. Those are the EMAs I'll usually have. I used to have up, right? I don't really trade with EMAs, Coach Fred. I don't use the VWAP either. They're just here, right? I just kind of have them here. Volume, right? If you want to look at it, it's there. I don't use it. But EMAs, VWAP, volume usually stay off. The only thing I really have on my screen are, like I said, are the NDogs. NDogs and WOGs. That's about it. I don't want to get confused, futures. You know, if I'm looking at an EMA, it's not something that I look for. I don't
Yeah,
look
if it's
for
not something
trading.
you use, why put it?
I've seen EMAs get disrespected so many times, right? And I understand that you can use them as confluence, and you know when it gets to there, it's excuse me.
Just use them as a general bias. That's how I use them. But I turn them into bands.
Into bands meaning?
I'll do the, let's say, the 21 on the high price and on the low price of the bar, so it creates kind of like a band, a little zone that you have to get through. I find that's better than just having a single line. Just helps getting, for me, it helps reduce the, getting whipsawed, going short, going long, going short, going long. It reduces that a little bit. So that's one of the reasons. That was a modification I made. Okay, let's see if I can get 10 points out of this. Got a decent sized position. That's it, just an 8 lot. Should have been a 12 lot. Let's add 4.
What are you taking here, futures?
Long. Trying to catch 7
Coach
to 10
Fred,
7 to 10 points.
And you EMA every day. You can pick the one that's being respected on any given move.
$69, targeting 76. What am I long at? 67. So 9 points.
What is Crispy showing me, man? That's not a unicorn. What is that?
I'll go along a 10 lot.
Who's doing a 10 lot?
Me.
Big Willie, huh?
Where's my stop?
Oh, my magnets would screw.
41, that's a lot. Not sure if I want to have that big of a stop on a 10 lot. I think I have to reduce my risk.
There you go.
I didn't see that it was that far away, the stop.
Now the thing again with Asia, even though I've analyzed something, pretty specific, and I want to hold myself to seeing how this thing plays out first before making any major adjustments or switching any bias. But Asia session, man, Asia session can just go sideways because of the lack of liquidity in the market. Oh my God, my stomach is making some weird noises here, guys.
That's only day one.
Only day one, I know.
It's gonna go away after the second day. It goes away.
The second day it goes away. The toughest is the first day every time I fast.
Yeah.
That first 24 hours, and I hit it. I'm already past 24. Right, and that's usually the one it's like that 36-hour mark that becomes a little tough. I'll wake up tomorrow, have a nice couple glasses of water, and I'll be fine till the evening again. And then again towards the evening session, when dinner time comes around and my wife is cooking for the kids, she made freaking bacon. She made herself BLTs earlier. So you want a BLT? I was like, no, I don't want a BLT. Damn it, you know I'm fasting. Why you gotta tell me that? She did that shit on purpose too. I know she did. I know she did. But that's when it gets a little tough. When you're smelling food.
When you're smelling it, yeah.
When you know it's around that time where it happens, where the magic happens. And then you just write it out. You write it out.
Coach Fred.
But I want to try to hit 96 hours. Right? If I can hit the 100 mark, that would be
48, 80, that's
perfect.
4 days.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 4 days and 4 hours. 4 days and 4 hours gets me to the 100 mark. And that's when I'm gonna break my fast, probably like a beef broth, nothing else, just a beef broth, right?
Say that 10 times fast.
Beef broth. I'm not gonna do it. You're gonna make me sound like a fool. Thanks. So it's just a little beef broth, and then I'm gonna eat like a smaller meal after that. Nothing super heavy, and then that dinner is gonna be enjoyable.
Yeah, Joker is Greek, Coach Fred.
Did he actually ask that, like, specifically?
Yep.
On your chat, I'm guessing.
And I'll give it away. For those of you... Oh, hold on a minute. I got a little...
Yeah, Coach Fred, 100% Greek.
And I'm an Hebreo. And no one knows what that is except for Joker. Well, maybe Crispy too. Is Crispy Greek?
No. Crispy is... I think Crispy's a little bit of a mutt. But
so then he'll have to ask, what the fuck's an Hebreo?
You want to know what I am? Futures.
American. I'm Canadian. That's what I am.
I'm a human.
That too. But I go with
I'm a human being.
Yeah.
I'm not super religious. I'm a God-fearing man. I believe in God. I actually pray to him daily, right? But I don't want to jump into that topic, but I'm not a really religious person.
Yeah.
I don't really like religion in general. I'm Greek Orthodox, can care less about them. And I don't mean it like that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just that I'm a firm believer that that was kind of put here to separate us, right? For separation. We got God. It's all the same one for all of us. We cut your hand. You bleed red. I bleed red. So unless you can show me some green blood or some shit, Mike, then we're in a different ballpark. Now we're talking some different language. Other than that, I'm a human being.
I do agree.
I believe in other human beings.
Yep, I do agree.
That's it. But there we go. On the analysis note, we're moving. We're moving to direction. We're en route. We're en route. Should have taken that long. I wanted that long. Drinking ouzo. Cheers. Good for you, Coach Fred. Enjoy. I drink 0 alcohol. I don't like putting poison in my body.
Yeah, we're
a
non-alcoholic family here also. We go
nothing crazy, a couple glasses of wine, maybe a drink or two when we go out.
Yeah.
I don't care for it. I've never cared for alcohol and don't care for it now. And you know what's crazy, Futures? About when my son was born, 13 years ago. So 13 years ago, exactly, so about 13 and a half years ago. 13 and a half years ago, I was 270 pounds, 265 pounds.
No shit.
And that was out of nowhere, too, out of nowhere. Eating sloppy, right? Not taking care of myself. Just eating like absolute dog shit. And that's when I first started the insanity, right? That's when Retsina's, that's basically, some like licorice stuff. But I started the insanity workout. That was when I first did the insanity workout. My brother was already doing it for some time. He was in shape. He was doing really, really good on that front. And I was a sloppy potato. I mean, I was just absolutely, didn't care. My wife, she loved me as is, right? But from a health perspective, I was a hot mess. I was so bad, actually, so bad. I got diagnosed with a fatty liver.
Okay.
And I don't drink. 0 alcohol, right? I'm not a drinker. Diagnosed with a fatty liver, and that was my turning point. That did it for me. I was like, what the heck are you doing here? Sloppy, you don't work out, you eat what the fuck you want. I mean, it was an awakening, right? Like it was a rude awakening, but you snapped the heck out of it. You know what I mean? Like you wake up and you hear all that bad news and you're like, you know what? I'm good. And at that time, my father already had bypass surgery, diabetic, passed away at 68, right? May he rest in peace. But from all those complications. And, I had just, my wife was pregnant with my son. That was our first child. And I just wasn't having it. I said, you know what? We're not doing this. And she was 5 months pregnant with about 5 months pregnant. No, longer, belly and everything. Because in 3 months, she was about 7 months pregnant. 3 months, the day she gave birth to my son in the hospital, I was 178 pounds.
Wow.
And I'm not talking from any stupid shit, right? I'm talking eating well, dieting properly. And I don't mean like, I don't mean depriving myself. I had some rice, some pasta once in a while, right? Minimal. But I stayed off the carbs, went mostly carnivore, and 178. I lost almost 90 pounds in 3 months doing the insanity and eating healthy.
No kidding.
And 2 years later...
That was my question. Yeah, go ahead.
2 years later, there's no fatty liver to be found.
Okay.
There's no sign. You had a fatty liver, they said? When?
And you've kept most of the weight off?
Yeah, I'm 185. 180 right now,
Excellent, good
185. I usually hover around that 180 mark, 190 mark, right? If I'm out of shape, if I'm slacking throughout my back or something and I'm not working out properly. But yeah, so that's just a little quick story I thought I'd share with everyone, just to maybe hopefully I can inspire.
You did. Wait a minute. I'm not joking. You inspired me the first time we talked. You were talking about the fasting. You remember? Uh-huh. And I changed the way I eat because of that conversation. And I was talking about you here in the house. John,
that's good.
This, that, he said this, he said that. My wife, I've been telling you this for so long. And
John has to tell you
and
so you can listen.
You never listened to me, and now you're listening. I said, yeah, because you...
We get it. You just really made your bed with that one, buddy.
Yeah, I got you. But, yeah, I'm cutting out now food. I'm trying to have my supper before we go on at 7 o'clock, and that's it.
Good.
I was a late night eater. I would eat quite a bit late at night. So
sometimes still I have a bad habit. Now that I'm fasting, I'm trying to avoid it, but I have that midnight snack habit. And usually it's a bowl of cereal.
Okay.
Super bad habit. I'm trying to kick the heck out of that. That's the absolute worst thing we could do, Mike.
Eat late
when
at
it comes
night.
to eating, eat late at night. When it comes to eating, it doesn't matter what time you eat. If you're not going to go to sleep right away. If you're someone that's up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and you eat at 10, you're fine. No big deal. But if you're someone that's going to eat at 10 and you're going to go to sleep by 11:30, absolute worst, one of the worst things we can do. All right, so I like this reaction here, guys. I like this little drop, right? I don't want to see too much of a drop. How much are you dropping here? Where are you going?
Too much.
Calm down. Slow it down a bit. A little easy. Easy now. All right, so this pivot a little lower. This pivot turns into this. It's fine. No big deal. We just want to hold. But I'm not, my analysis, I put it on the chart. I follow it. I try to follow it. Like as we got here, I would long this. I would potentially long this. Why not? Like I would definitely long this if I was trading. But it's not always on point, right? I'm not always going to hit to the T, right? It might come a little lower, might come a little higher, but I do find my analysis to be pretty accurate when I take the time and I actually analyze properly based on how I analyze.
Yeah.
And
they get me all the
crazy
time.
thing is that most of these moves can be taken, but I'll pick and choose, right? Like once it starts playing out on my analysis, I'll look for the proper moves, right? Like I'm gonna look to take the pullback, right? Not necessarily this pullback, right? And this pivot doesn't have to be here. This pivot can be here. right? There's no precision to when I analyze in terms of highs, lows being taken until it's a market shift, right? So something like this, not necessarily, doesn't have to happen, but it could, right? It could come up a little higher. Would I consider taking a short from here to this pullback? Possibly, right? But it's a big maybe. And the reason I say that is because this pullback doesn't have to exist. It doesn't have to exist. This pullback can just be this, straight to target, right? Or maybe just a smaller pullback here, right? It doesn't have to do this.
Coming up to 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Markets are getting jiggity.
Well, we just caught that little move that we just saw. Was that I've told you this before. It's that 850 macro, right? You have that last 10 minutes of the hour. It's a macro for any candle. You'll usually see that, that push. And again, it has nothing to do with anybody jumping in at 850.
It doesn't extend to, does it extend with you? Does it extend to 10 minutes before the hour to 10 minutes after the hour? Or for you,
Absolutely. That's the macro.
Because that's the window. For me, I find the window is 10 minutes before to 10 minutes after.
That's the macro.
But I never paid attention to every hour. I just pay attention to that at 10 o'clock. What they call the 10 o'clock reversal.
Hey, salute. Opa. Oh, he's over there saluting Coach Fred with the drink. Fred as well. Opa. I'm not taking a real short till 18,600.
I think they're psyching me out here.
18,600. I like that, Crispy. I like the 18. And even 18,600, man, you're being a little generous. But yeah, I'm looking about the same. Maybe 18,600. Dude, what are you? 19,600, man? You're throwing me off, man. 18,600. We're hovering above 18,600. You're gonna short 18,600. I'm just in a goofy.
No long here, short. Futures. I don't know. I mean, I think it's possible the low of the evening was put
micro
in.
long. Okay, he corrected himself. Okay, that's where he threw me off.
I find often between 8 and 8:30 there's a rotation. There's a change of direction. Often in the evenings, not 100%, but often. Anyways, it's a 250K count. Just trading small size, Fred. Can I call you Fred?
You know what I'm finding off the futures? I'm finding precision quite often these days if I'm trading properly.
Yeah. I agree. Actually, Coach is better. Do you remember the show, Coach? I don't know how old you are. There was a show a long time ago called Coach. It was a good show.
I'm not that
yes,
that young.
250K eval.
You can see the grays. You can see the grays in the beard. We're not that young. I'll be 45 this year. I don't mind sharing my age.
Yeah. It's just a number.
It's just a number. We're all gonna get there, God willing, right? If you're not this old, right? And
yeah, God willing.
God willing, definitely. I get to see my 90s. Maybe some great grandkids.
My daughter just shared with me a horrific story. Something happened to a 20-year-old girl here, in our area.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, like 1 minute you're having a good time, and the next minute it's over for you. So.
Well, same thing recently over here. I think she was a little older. She was she actually had kids. My daughter goes to gymnastics with this woman, and she was all over the news. She ended up getting killed by a train.
Okay.
By New Jersey Transit. I don't know what happened. I know she was working, come back from work late night. I don't know the exact scoop, but I know she left behind, I think, 3 children, 2 or 3 girls, husband about my age, right? So life is short, guys. Life is short. Cherish the things that are important, right? Which is why I try to I'm looking for that balance, right? This trading, it's new to me, and it consumed me, right? It has consumed me for some time. So, I like that the streams now have me a little bit more restricted. When I'm not streaming, I'm usually not trading. I'm off of it, right? So I want to try to maintain that for the most part. I do take some trades off stream, not going to say we're not going to trade at all, right?
I'm trying to cut it
But
off, though.
I try to log them.
I really, I have that as a rule. I didn't put it in on my little screenshot that appears in the top left corner as one of my risk rules, but it's on my sheet. Don't trade off stream. And the reason being is because I found I was getting careless. The stream was keeping me in control, and then as soon as I would turn off the stream, it would be, okay, now I can break all my rules.
I can do whatever I want because
Yeah.
everybody's watching me. Yeah.
That's it. So I said, no trading
Of
off.
course.
And you know what? I'm following my rules pretty good. I'm impressed. Like I said, I'm happy with myself. And
that's the most important thing that we can do. Here.
No day is perfect. No day is perfect.
No.
But as long as it's the minor breaches and not the major ones.
Agreed. I agree with you there 100%. For me, I don't mind trading off stream. I log what I do now. I'm noting it. I'm saving some charts, right? Annotated charts, and I'm trying to make sure that it's on there, right? I got labels for stuff that I want to look back on. But when I do take those PM trades, I still stay within my parameters, right? What I mean is, I don't all of a sudden turn into a 5 micro trader, right? Or all of a sudden I'm trading 10 micros. I still stay consistent with 1 to 2 micros.
Okay.
Right? 3 is my maximum that I trade with usually.
Yeah.
And that goes even for my 300K account, right? And what I was thinking today, which is why I never changed my DLL on the 300K and I left it at 500, is because it actually aligns with a more realistic way of trading, right? So if I have a 300K account, obviously I don't have 300K, right? We have 7,500. That's our drawdown, okay? So if I'm sitting on 7,500 drawdown and I take 3% of that account, that's 2.25. So if I'm risking double that, that's already 6%. 3% should be your absolute the absolute maximum you should be risking on any size account, in my opinion.
Per trade.
Per trade, but we're talking only A+ setup, right? So if you have a 50,000K account, live funds, and you're trading 0.3%, you're risking $1,500. Acceptable. If you have a $2,500 account and you're risking 3%, that's $75. So realistically, and this is why I'm trying to stick to this, because this is already a little bit high for me anyway, but I really want to try to stick to a 3% risk. Might have just drooled on my beard again. To a 3% to a 3% risk on any size account. Period. So I can stomach that. I can stomach 1%. Huh?
I said, I wonder what mine is. Mine is $80 on the 50K account.
Perfect.
40.
That's
right?
just about 3%. 3 point something. 3.2.
Yeah.
What would it be?
40 on the 25K and 120 on the 150K. So yeah. Okay. So we're in the same range.
And that's where our focus should remain, right? Staying consistent there. With that, guys, I'm look at this. This is absolutely bananas. You know, once I'm able to identify where this algorithm is gonna go, I was trading this earlier with Crispy futures.
Okay.
And it was on some hey, how the heck are we not missing here type of a situation. What the heck is going on? I think Crispy walked away with this was, I think it was last night. I think he ended up walking away with and today. It was today when we were trading in the afternoon actually. But I think he ended up making $1,000 per account on his
shit.
On his 250K accounts, and he trades with like 3 micros. Takes a lot of trades, right? 1,000 per night. That's his goal right now. He just put it in my chat. His target's 1,000 per night per account, 150K, trading between 2. What is it now? You're 2 and 5 micros, Crispy. What are you trading?
One runner NQ long targeting 94. Yeah, it's slow though, eh, Fred? It's like watching paint dry. It's so long to get to target now.
That's what Crispy just said too. Is that what Fred just said?
Fred said, yeah, targeting 94 one runner. Fred also said we're the oldest we've ever been, but the youngest we ever will be. I've heard that before.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense too. You really think it out, right? You play it out in your head a couple times. Starts making a lot of sense. Look, at the end, we need to really put things into perspective and understand that we are not here forever, right? When I pray to God, I pray for one thing exclusively, and that's for health. And I don't even keep it localized to my family, for the world. Like, heal this damn world. Like, there's a lot of people that are suffering and dying for no reason. And the one thing I always tell myself, I'll never pray for wealth. Health and happiness, right? Some form of wealth will fall under happiness, right? Or at least stability. And I'm good with that, Futures. I'm content just making it my whole entire life, if that's what it's going to require.
Yeah.
To know that I've got a long one, right? So when I pray to God, and again, not everybody has to believe in God or pray to God. It's just, how I grew up and what I choose to do. But I'll always pray for health and never wealth. That's one of my mottos, right? Pray for health and never wealth.
Yeah. Well,
so, and appreciate what we have in front of us, guys.
That's it. A couple of people told me near the end, appreciate what you have. That was their perspective on their deathbed. Appreciate what you have.
And what I mean by that is your wife, your spouse, your loved ones, your children, your mother, your father, your friends, the ones that you keep close to you.
Your co-streamer?
Your co-streamer, you better believe it.
There you go.
But at the end of the day, well, listen, at this point, we don't know each other too long, but I'm quick to consider someone a friend, very, very quick to cut someone off as well. Equally, I'm not someone that holds on to people that are there for the wrong reasons either, right? But I'm pretty good at identifying genuine, and just be yourself, right? Just try to be ourselves, guys. We don't need to try to sugarcoat shit. Don't try to mask anything, right? Look at this. Look at the precision over here. Mike, if this thing drops right there, again, we're not moving levels, right? We're just leaving it. This is just the so-called precision trading here, right? This is algorithmic moves that I'm targeting here. Nothing but the algo. But back to what we're saying, the more important stuff, right? Just appreciate the loved ones around us, right? Appreciate the time we have with them, because like we were saying, that poor young 20-year-old girl, the mother that I was just discussing previously, right? They're no longer with us. They're not here. And it's that quickly, with a snap of a finger, that those types of actions happen. So, that's why, Futures, I want to try to, focus on spending time with them more, right? I got so caught up with these charts over the last 13 months. I mean, so caught up with these damn charts that I got consumed. 26-hour days, for crying out loud.
But it's a trade-off. You have to sacrifice a little bit in the beginning also. That's
Correct.
okay. That's okay. Just don't make it
what I told myself.
Yeah. Just don't make it your new life, but to sacrifice in the beginning a little bit. I tell my boys that too. It's going to be some sacrifice, but then it pays off after.
Absolutely.
Out.
Without a doubt.
Fred
100%.
got his 94.
Oh yeah. That 94 was coming, baby. That 94 was coming. Good trade, Fred. And like I said, Futures, I'll move the pivots after I have the confirmation, right? Because I'm not going to be precise. I don't have that type of precision yet, right? But if I am correct, if my trades are correct, that means that eventually what? I can really start identifying these types of moves and start really scalping, jumping in for 50 point scalps. These are my full on trades right now, for crying out loud. I look for 50 points to be done for the day. If I can start scalping 50 points, let's get it, guys. Let's do it. Let's try to figure this out. That's the goal. That is the absolute goal. What's your plan for the rest of the evening? I'm good to hang out for another 15 minutes or so, but I want to try to call it around 9:30ish if you're good with that as well, Futures.
Whatever's good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, no super rush, but just want to go watch a movie with the wife, shut
Yeah.
the charts down, go hang out before she goes to bed, a little bit,
I
and then
don't
come
know,
back and check out the session. I usually tend to do that.
I don't have anything that's gonna form in the next little while, so I'm kind of just sitting here watching.
Is that exclusively based on the Renko?
Well, the Renko and the algo. The algo might go short, but I wouldn't be too eager to want to take a short right now, given the fact that it looks like the bottom was put in at 8:30 or 8:33, if you want to be exact.
For sure. For me, I wouldn't be eager to take a short until we hit 18.7, the 720 range, right? Which is, for the most part, my peak here. Because, as I mentioned before, I put this noise in. But this is all noise. This is algorithmic noise that does not have to exist. It doesn't have to happen. Right? So that's why I mentioned the moves that I look for are the bigger moves, the targets. And we're on a 1 minute now, right? Because I want to see a reaction here. And I hate that I have to. You know what actually might help? This will be easier.
Have a good night, Crispy.
No, it will not. Later, Crispy. I'll speak to you in a bit, bud. I'll give you a call. But I thought I could move the whole thing. I forgot I did it one move. I liked when I had changed that before. But
take care, Crispy.
Let's make a little bit of room here for this noise. So this non-existent noise. So we can find some room for the current price action noise. The algo has a range, Futures, in my opinion. The algorithm always has a range, even if it has direction. And that it's going to use that range to A, generate the liquidity, right? Enticing people to enter for shorts, longs, and so on. And then it's going to go for that liquidity, right? Once it's enticed enough people. So it might skip some of the internal noise and go right up for this one, and then make its way down for the next move in the in the plan, in the game plan. But I am still trying to identify these moves better. I'd like to see us maybe coming back down to this level here, right? But it can simply be this pivot when we get to this pivot. And the rest of it is just going to be sideline noise.
Yeah. Well, you have the levels. I mean, the timing could be off, but your levels are solid.
I do have some pretty solid levels.
And if the timing is off, it makes no difference anyways. I mean, doesn't matter whether it's there or it's 5 minutes later that the high is made.
Correct. And right now, I just moved that pivot, but I'm going to put it back for a second just because I want to see a little bit of this play out. So, so we can see what part of this range, this consolidation did we actually get to? Where are we going to react here? And now that we're getting a small market structure shift, well, not quite, right? I don't think we're going to get one. Like I said, I think in order to get a shift, we got to come up above here. And I don't see a shifting right now. Not from the way price action is presenting itself to me so far. If we start getting the momentum, if we start getting the injection of that liquidity, and the algo starts playing for these targets, then it's going to sweep, it'll give us a direction, and it's going to come back down to give us another entry. It'll create this entry here, 100%. It's almost inevitable, in my opinion. You had the right bias when you were looking for longs. Right when I said to take the long, 100%. I just don't, I don't know if you heard me, Coach Fred. I would have taken it. I would have taken the long. I got the setup and everything down at the 18,655. That's where I was going to enter. And that was already, 50 plus points, right? We're in the 700 range again. So, it's, right idea at the levels, without a doubt. just following my, you know, my analysis. But I also won't chase, right? If I would have got in at the correct level, hold my position. I have no problem holding. I'm pretty good about that. At least to, you know, to the local levels. I have a hard time holding those, you know, to 818, 810, which I think we can hit eventually. But I can also see us coming down a little bit lower before we get up to 810, right? I feel like we'll start playing this pivot out on a higher time frame. So we'll probably see something like this. I'm going to just shorten it up, right?
Did we even see 810 today? Oh, yeah, we did, eh?
Yeah,
that
I think
was
so.
kind of theoretically the open.
Right? I'm going to sum it up with less interference. Right? I think we can see something like this happen. Right back to that 830 open. So this would be what I'd be looking for, Coach Fred. This is just a little bit of noise and just, you know, the beginning of the confirmation, even getting up here and closing above. But I do like this this pullback. I like this retracement. I want to see when we're gonna get the next pump down. See how much of this noise gets you know, goes away.
Well, the market so far showing strength, but
Let's take a look at.
But we're close to VWAP.
Are we? We're back to that VWAP level.
Yeah, getting there. 8.2.
Okay.
So
Which is
yeah,
logical. I mean, I can see why people want to trade VWAP, right? I mean, I can tell you why I would short this, right? It has nothing to do with.
Oh, no, not shorting,
because-
but you were saying get a little bit of a pullback now.
Pullback, well,
So
without
yeah,
a doubt.
that would be, and then I could get a reason. Then I can go long.
I got to pull back here.
Yeah.
I marked it up. Let's mark it up. I got to pull back here for me. Right? And if not here, which this is in theory where I want to see it. The next pullback would come right above VWAP, right? So that would pretty much start getting people to go, you know, whoever trades VWAP to start wigging out right here.
Mm.
Like, oh my God, we're above. It's going short. They're gonna get broken, right? If it reacts off of the 18,726 area. But I can definitely see a pullback here, right?
Mm.
It's
VWAP. I find
level.
For me, VWAP. If I were to trade VWAP, let me put it up on my minute chart here. Let me just get rid of. Let me minimize this and get rid of number 2. Where is it? Screen number 2. There we go. I can open up my 1 minute chart. The first, let's say, retrace after a cross. So I don't know if you know, I use 2 consecutive closes to confirm a trend change.
Yes,
so,
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so let me just change my cursor here. So you were to get 2, here's a cross, because you have 2 closes. You wait for your first retrace and your continuation. But in all honesty, if I'm looking here, I know for me, the retrace or the pullback, whichever word you want to use, for me, that's 2 bars minimum. So I would have gotten an entry over here, and then I would have gotten stopped out. If I take the second one, then I would have been able to pull out a little bit of a profit there. But I find also that happens often. The second pullback, the first pullback doesn't work, or the first continuation doesn't work, and the second one does.
Correct.
But
and I've found I've found that the algorithm likes to do that. Doesn't have to do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
I think it really comes down to, does the algorithm have enough liquidity when it took out that first one? And if there were enough stop orders there, it's just gonna go, right? Kind of like here. So you see how I moved my noise into the channel now? I just didn't want all that noise there. It was noise that I had created, right? I don't know that I don't actually like that I did that. Hold on. And I'll tell you why. Because Well, then again, this is a 1 versus a 5. And I did take a lot of the excess noise. So we got to this area. Not so much. Not so much. Okay. So close this pivot here. We might get some consolidation. So I'm not really trying to move more than maybe 1 or 2 of these pivots actually. Something like this for now. Temporarily, we'll see what it does. And then I'm gonna put this as my high, and I want to leave this alone. This potentially could be a small little market structure shift reversal here, just to pull back to take out that low. Higher body, maybe just barely sweep it, and then we could get another pull back up to take out this high right here, right? Which is what we would be targeting here for the terminus. And then from there, I can see us start pulling back down, potentially.
That would be a very likely scenario. I do agree with that hypothesis.
And I feel like the short here, where I marked, would be coming in at this pivot. And what I was saying earlier, futures, right? This is the trade that I would like to take, that I would like to wait for. I'd like for it to show me that it's going to... Yeah, but what I really want to see is I want to see it show me that it wants to do what I'm anticipating it to do. So I want to see it consolidating here. I want to see some of these ups and downs created, right? And this is like, this could be, you know, this is like a scalper's paradise if you know how to trade this. Jump into shorts at the top, really tight stops. You know, you get to the bottom of the range, you jump into longs. Take profit somewhere around the 70%, 50 to 70% mark, right? And you just repeat that, rinse and repeat. And usually, even on the 1 minute, after you get a move like this, what's incoming next? Maybe a small pullback, right? Quick pullback, maybe to here, and then a consolidation. Now that range is all going to depend on, again, what kind of liquidity we have being injected into the market, right? How much volume do we have being pushed in? And if there's not enough of it, right? And we can put on the volume. Let's see what the volume looks like. All right. Small little increase in volume at spikes, right? But it doesn't mean anything. To me, the volume is just the move. The volume candles just show up like this because you have the momentum up. What I do like to look at, I don't know if, have you ever looked at the volume footprint of the candles?
No, footprint charts I've never used or looked at. I
do. They're up here. I do like the footprint charts. I tend to pay attention to them a little bit. Not so much, right? I don't use them for to trade off of.
Okay.
But I do like to see and understand where the delta is sitting, right? I'd like to see if we're in a positive or a negative delta.
Yeah.
Right. And then I do like to look for divergences, right? Based on the delta.
You get that off. That's TradingView you're on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That looks like
Yeah,
something I'd like to use.
I love TradingView.
That looks like something I'd like to use.
I thought you said something else.
That looks like that can help with scalping a chart like that.
Oh, it sure can. Yeah, absolutely. It sure can.
You can define your range to be about 3 or 4 boxes.
You can find your point of control, with these easily. And then you can see when you've got a more positive delta coming in, right? You got this positive delta, you start seeing divergences. That just means what? We're about to get a drop. Right? No divergence here yet though, right? We got a positive delta. No real divergence here. Came in with a negative delta.
Oh my God, it's only 5-point range in this market right now. Whew.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, we got the moves. Called a couple of good ones. a couple of good ones today. But besides that, there wasn't, there's nothing else. Everything is just a lot of chop, right?
Yeah,
That's what it does in the
think I want to be in
consolidating
this.
stage.
I'm just closing
No.
this. That's not a trade. Oh, what just happened?
How are your accounts looking? How are you looking so far for the day?
Well, I lost 240
Green or
on the
red?
one that I stopped. Red. I lost 240 on the one I changed accounts, and that account went up 60, down 60, and ended up down $6. So pretty much scratch for the day on that one.
Break even on that one, and a small little measly 240 on the other one.
Yeah, well, can make that up in one trade tomorrow.
Easily recoverable. That's what I mean. And that's what I was talking about earlier with, just knowing when to walk away. Shut it down.
Rotating accounts is fantastic. I think that's where the power lies in multiple accounts, not so much in the copy trading. I find copy trading sometimes dangerous, especially if you're doing, for the people that do 20 accounts, I tip my hat off to them. Copy trading 2 accounts, 3 accounts, I think is good, but doing it on all 20 accounts, that's, I find, a little bit, I won't say wreck.
With me, personally, you want to know my opinion on that? I think if you can trade for 2 months straight, following your rules, following your game plan, stopping out when you're supposed to, walking away when you're supposed to, only trading your setup, right? And I mean a full 2 months, futures, of game plan, mechanical. If you can achieve that, then I would say the heck with it. Why not?
I'll tell you why, because the trade copier I use is not reliable.
I've had issues too. I've had issues with the Apex copier.
I've had
issues where I'm out of a trade and I've got all 19 or whatever still running.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shoot, I'm in every account, close. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And that happened to me more than once. No,
and
I realized what it was.
I should create a video of how much it screws up. I'm pretty good at working it now. I have it open on my side here, on the side of my screen. I'm watching my positions carefully. I got my finger on the flatten all button just in case. But it seems to screw up and you know what? So whenever it screws up, it's never in your favor. It always hurts you.
Which copier do you use?
Apex.
Oh, so you use the Apex copier. Okay, so check it out.
And here's the thing. I've
got the fix. I know what your problem is. I'm going to tell you exactly where you went wrong right now.
Limit orders.
It's not the limit orders per se.
Market won't screw up. It'll boom, 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 boom. It'll do all of them. Limit orders, it gives you partial fills. So it'll fill 3, let's say, and then the next one, and it won't fill you on any of the others.
No. That's not it. That's not the problem.
No?
Your problem is the second you... So if how many accounts are you copying? Just out of curiosity.
5? Well, now I do 2, 3. That's as far as I go. I used to copy a lot more.
Let's say 5. Let's say we're copying 5. All right. If you're copying 5 accounts and you have your leader account and you're trading on the Apex copier, and then you go in and even make an adjustment on one of the other accounts outside of the leader account doing, bless you.
You heard me? I thought I closed the mic.
You did close the mic, but I could see your camera sneezing.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, yeah.
So if you jump into a trade and you make any type of adjustment to the follower accounts, you just screwed up the whole entire copier. So I think it's a glitch within the copier. It will not close out your positions.
No, it doesn't. It leaves you hanging.
It won't do anything else to your trades. So you can close out that leader and you think you're moving or move your take profit or make an adjustment, and nothing else is getting adjusted. Nothing else. So you just have to be really careful not to touch anything besides the leader account when you're trading with the Apex copier.
Yeah.
So well, I don't know if that helped. I don't know if that's something that maybe you can think back and say, yeah, you know what, Joker, now that I think about it, I did make an adjustment to something. I did, go and mess around with some of the other accounts while I was, copying those accounts.
Well, I don't have experience with other ones except for Apex and Topstep X, and Topstep X never had issues.
The only one I use is
never had
is
issues with
Apex.
Topstep
I've never
X.
used anything else.
Yeah, but I just think Topstep X works cleanly, just like for the PDLL, super clean, no problems whatsoever. Anyways, it is what it is. You know, you deal with it, and like I said, for me, I feel comfortable doing 2-3 accounts. I can manage it. But I think if I do more than that, especially using limit orders to get in, to get out, you're getting partial fills, and it's not translating to the others because it's only filling you on 2, and you want to get out 2 times 5 or 2 times 2 times 6 accounts. It's
I
not
haven't
filling
noticed that. Maybe that is also what the issue was with me as well.
Yeah,
But then
if
again,
you mark it in, you mark
only...
it out, you'll never have a problem. Like try market orders, and you'll never have a problem, as long as you don't adjust your orders also.
Right.
You know, just
it doesn't leave any limits on the book.
I don't know what you mean.
So like let's say you so if you mark it out, like I've marked it out before.
Yeah.
My limit order, not my limit order, my take profit is still sitting there. So another thing that happened to me was I'll mark it in, mark it out, right? I'll have a strategy set up where when I mark it in, it puts a stop and a buy, right? A stop and a take profit.
Okay.
And then when I mark it out of my, wow, we just ripped.
Yeah.
None of this. So all of this noise just went out the window, and we're playing right up at the top. Love it. So now I would consider a short around here. So you know so I'll mark it in, TP, stop loss, and then I'll mark it out. But when I mark it out, my original TP is still sitting there.
Yeah. Well, then you just click flatten all.
It doesn't flatten all. It will not flatten any open orders that have not been triggered.
Well, then you hit close. Then close should work also. One of those two should work.
But it doesn't. What happens is it locks me out. So even if I close my leader account, I have to go to every single account individually. And I remember when I was trading 20 at one point, because I tried it like a bozo. It was a nightmare. I got caught, and I actually had to go and switch 19 accounts to close. I got lucky and closed out 8 of them in profit. And then I'm in the red with the rest of them, right? Minus $10, minus $30, minus $60. I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm switching up. I'm hitting that X button. And by the time I got to the last account, I think it was down like 90 or $100 for that account.
I have your solution. You go into the orders tab and you right click and you on the anywhere in that screen and you click cancel all orders.
You can cancel all orders, yeah.
You can
but
do
it
that.
Will only do it for that account. You still have to go in and manually do it to every single account. So whether you go to orders and you close all, or you go to, or you just hit the X button, right? When you switch the account and you see the limit order or the take profit sitting there, it's the same thing. There's no real difference in my opinion. But yeah, that's I got caught there. I definitely got caught there, and I've been a little weary of using the copier, but I still use it, right? I still use it through my NinjaTrader, and everything is just linked through the NinjaTrader.
Yeah, you have a lot of people that apparently copy 20 accounts. You know, Nutty Bar, I think he copies to multiple accounts, but He
doesn't copy 20 anymore. He used to copy them, and then he blew a lot recently.
But I've never...
Listen, that guy still gets the payout. I think he's like 84,000 a year to date.
But I've never watched how much problems he has. I don't know which copier he's using, and I've never seen if he has issues. Because I haven't watched his stream. I mean, there's a few people that claim to copy a lot, but I've never watched them closely enough to see if they have issues. Anyways, Joker, I think it's time to call it an evening.
Yeah, let's do it. 9:38. 9:38 for sure. Thank you guys from me. Appreciate you guys hanging out. And much love on my end. I'm gonna let Futures take over and close out.
Same thing, same message. Thanks for showing up, guys. Appreciate it. We had a good time today. It's too bad that the trades didn't work out, but can't work out every night. And we're going to be streaming tomorrow. I think Joker starts at 9 o'clock now.
So tomorrow in the morning we will be streaming the
Joker.
evening streams. Let me just jump in real quick, Futures. This week, because of the Holy Week and just a lot going on, I am going up to my in-laws, I think either Wednesday evening. We're going to be driving, so I will be in the car, unable to stream. Or we're going to be leaving Friday morning. Now, if we leave Friday morning, 100%, I'm down for the evening stream tomorrow, guys, and we'll see you guys at 7 p.m. Again. But if I am on the road, I'm gonna unfortunately not be able to make it. Maybe Futures decides to jump in. I don't know if he will. Probably want to spend some time with his family as well. Take advantage of that time. But for the most part, I will see you guys full time again next week on the PM stream. But past today, I don't think I will be streaming on Thursday and Friday. Friday, I know the market is shut down, guys. We don't stream on Fridays anyway. But Thursday, I will be touching down at my in-laws. I want to spend time with the family, so I'm probably not going to be doing the PM stream nor my AM streams, right? So if you watch my AM stream, you're probably not going to see a stream past tomorrow. Tomorrow will be my last stream for the week on the AM session, and then I'll be back next week, possibly Tuesday if we're still up there on Monday. Again, okay. Futures, take over. Sorry
Sounds
about
good.
Jumping in and cutting that off like that, but just wanted to mention that.
No problem. Like I said, I think Joker starts at 9. I start at 9:15.
And both at 9:15.
Oh, 9:15. Okay, I thought it was 9 o'clock. And just check the thumbnails. Just click on the live tabs on our channels, and you'll get to see the updates. If you want to know exactly if we're streaming, we'll post the thumbnails when we know. And that's about it. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Appreciate it. Click the like and the subscribe if there's any new. There's anybody new in the channel over here or on the stream, and that's about it. We'll see you tomorrow in the AM. Take care, guys.
Good night.
Bye.